Hello, One Piece enthusiasts. I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about chapter 1059. So, it's been a day since the chapter came out, and it's time to put my thoughts down. To be honest, this chapter was insanely crazy. Hype all over the place. Not a lot of twists, but I'll take it. I'll take it. So, let's start off with, where the chapter started. Um, I mean, I'm glad about two things. One, Marco having a proper farewell with the Straw Hats, and Yamato's proper reasoning for not joining the crew. Let's talk about Marco first. I mean, what do you expect out of a guy who's been in the Yonko crew for almost entirely his lifespan, and now he's retired, the Whitebeard crew has been, disbanded, and, Shanks gets an invite on because Marco's a great asset to have. To be completely honest, we've sort of forgotten about his role in Wano. He's actually done quite a lot. Starting from throwing the Big Mom Pirates off the cliff, and they didn't come into play at all because of that, and then handling King and Queen when Zoro and Sanji wasn't there, and lots of other miscellaneous stuff. He's actually done quite a lot, to be completely honest, to sort of, contribute to the war more than most people that we think about. And to have him on the crew, especially like Shanks, I'm on board. And especially with the history they have, remember, if you guys remember correctly, Shanks was the one who, retrieved the bodies of both Whitebeard and Ace in Marineford and took them to Sphinx Island. And, well, they're actually very good friends because Marco and Shanks go way back when Roger and Whitebeard used to duel, and then Shanks became a member, and everything goes hand in hand. So with that being said, I like the fact that Marco said, "Yo, I'm retired. I'm out of this. I've done enough. It's time for you guys to shine." It's great. It's great because sometimes legends have to quit. So speaking of legends, I'm also glad that Luffy get to have a proper farewell with Marco. Luffy finally gets to say thanks to Marco for protecting him in Marineford, and Marco praising Luffy it's basically like Ace praising Luffy, and it's very heartwarming, honestly. And we were very upset. Especially me, I was very upset with the fact that, we didn't get a proper farewell from Marco. Everything was sort of rushed, but I guess Oda had everything in mind. I don't really know why you'd put it in a flashback, though, but it's great it happened. I'm not complaining, honestly. As long as I get it, as long as I get the proper endings that I wanted, I'm satisfied. This takes Wano to a little bit higher than what I expected, but it's still not so great. Anyways, speaking of Wano and being not so great, Yamato's reasoning for not joining the crew is actually understandable, because it's what all we expected, because Yamato realized that it's not too simple to just say, I'm gonna travel with the Straw Hats, go and have fun while Wano's in danger, while no one in Wano is capable of defending itself from Admiral or a Yonko level crew, or even below that, honestly. So I'm glad Yamato came to that realization. I'm also glad she had the idea to basically say that Momonosuke wouldn't actually be liking this, because it had actually hurt his ego a lot if Yamato just said that outright. And Luffy, surprisingly, wanted to take Yamato on the crew, which I am a little surprised about. But, okay, it's Luffy. He's unorthodox, and, he does whatever he wants to. So, the reasoning was lacking. It felt half-assed, if you ask me, when it was pulled off in front of Momonosuke. Now it makes a lot of sense. I'm on board. Thank you, Oda. Thank you so much. With that being said, do I still like Yamato? Not really, but okay, she's having her development. I hope by the end of One Piece, she might be joining the crew, and she has a proper development in terms of character, and I would say, she's a completely different character than she was 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. So, props. Let's move on to the actual stuff. Amazon Lily, Kobe. So we know Kobe was heading towards Amazon Lily. Another thing that gets me confused is about the fact that I think Fujitora was also coming with Kobe. I'm not so sure. If I cannot remember correctly, if you guys, any of you guys remember what Fujitora was up to back then when the warlord system was all abolished, please let me know where he was going, because if I remember correctly, he was going to Amazon Lily with Kobe. That gave me a little bit of hope to basically, okay, maybe there's a chance that, Bo Hancock gets arrested and, alright, fair chance. But with Kobe by himself, even though after the Rocky Port incident, he has great observation hockey, he's a captain now, it's still not enough to get Boa. It's definitely not enough to get Boa. It's impossible almost. So, he's sort of like a failed experiment at this point. Everything that's been happening to Kobe, okay, he's had lots of growth. From the time he met Garp till now, he's had significant amounts of growth, but not as much as Luffy. For someone who's Luffy's rival, if you consider Luffy's marine rival to be Kobe, it's not enough. And for him to be going up against Bo Hancock saying that, yo, I'm alone by myself and I can take care of Bo Hancock and I'll take her back while fighting the girls on Amazon Lily, that's a little too much if you ask me. And with no admiral. But I guess Marines didn't have enough resources to basically send admirals after warlords. That's why most of the warlords, or almost every single one of the warlords, didn't get captured. Unless you talk about Weevil. Weevil's a different case. I don't know where that's gonna go. But I guess the Marines didn't have enough resources to basically, give it to the warlords because they were not really that important, if you ask me. And with that being said, Kobe, utter disappointment. I'm sorry, Kobe fanboys. I'm a fan of Kobe as well. I like him better than Smoker, to be honest. But it's not enough. It's not enough to be Luffy's rival. So let's talk about the whole Amazon Lily incident, because that's the entirety of the chapter. So, where do I start? I like the Seraphims. My god, SSG, job well done. This is way better than what I expected. Way better than anyone else could have thought of. I'm glad it went this way. Now, again, I'm not exactly sure. Are they modeled after the warlords, or are they modeled after, people that were captured by the world government? Like King, Bo Hancock. Was that King or Mihawk? If that was Mihawk, I don't know how I feel about it. If that's King, that means we get to see Fisher Tiger at some point. Because Fisher Tiger wasn't captive with the world government. And I guess they have some DNA or something that can, help them boost the Seraphims. It's also a biblical reference to angels, and they're the sort of guardians of the gods and the highest level of angel. I get that makes a lot of sense, especially considering they're the protectors of the world government, the Tenryubito, the Gorosei, and Eam. Alright, good, very good. Also, they're pretty freaking strong. If they are able to throw BlackBeard off guard, person who is honestly who I consider to be like the second strongest, if not the strongest, above Eam. Let's forget Eam. Among the pirates, the strongest I would consider right now is BlackBeard. I'm quite sure, significantly sure, that Shanks cannot deal with BlackBeard, because if Shanks is able to deal with BlackBeard, Luffy has no part in this game. So I'm saying that BlackBeard is stronger than Shanks. And say whatever you want to say, but he's definitely one of the top 2 or top 3. With that being said, I just really want to say that if that's able to throw BlackBeard off guard, I'm proud of it. I love it. Props. Moving on. So we only get to see 2, and to be completely honest, we cannot judge them while measuring them on this scale, because 2 of them versus a freaking Yonko, possibly one of the strongest characters in the One Piece world right now. That's not enough, to be honest. If it was versus, Crocodile, or maybe, Kid Law or whatever, that would have made a little bit more sense. Like, if they were to go up against people like that would have made a little bit more sense in order to sort of understand their scope. But BlackBeard's the person with 2 of the strongest devil fruits in the world. You send an experiment like that with BlackBeard, considering he wasn't supposed to be there, but for Oda to decide to implement SSG right now, I guess it sort of hypes them up as well, because BlackBeard was sort of scared of it because he was a little off guard. He was in a little off guard. But again, that's BlackBeard. It's not going to phase him. Moving on, Kobe felt helpless in this. Like, what? And another thing, after all the theorizing we did about BlackBeard's next move, it did come to mind that there was a possibility that BlackBeard would go after the Marimaro me, but I just didn't want to think about it. Because a conflict like this, if Shaki, Oda, wow. If Shaki wasn't the previous Empress of the Amazon Lily, there was no way that Rayleigh could have come into the fray and saved Boa from that mess. No way. It was a stalemate. I have no idea where it would have gone. But, okay, Oda. Okay. Sure. I like it. If you think about it, if Oda was planning this all the way through, that Marimaro no Mi was gonna come into play, and Shaki was a part of the Kuja Pirates, the captain of the Kuja Pirates, and, and would somehow this would help Boa to survive an incident like this, if Oda planned it all the way out, oh my god, Oda, what are you doing? And to put my final thoughts on things, Boa is very smart. I do not care whatever you guys think. Her fruit is strong, yes, but she's smart. She's pretty smart. When someone like Boa can not outsmart, but rather go toe to toe with BlackBeard in terms of scheming, like, stoning two of BlackBeard's strongest commanders, and then saying that, yo, if you finish me off right here, you're not getting our commanders back, and that's an issue. And if you can throw BlackBeard in a stalemate like that in just a matter of seconds, like in an instant, all of this happened in an instant, to be honest, I think she deserves some props. With that being said, thank God Rayleigh came into play and saved the day. Honestly, just saved the day. And to finish it all off with Rayleigh's argument of whether or not he's stronger or equal to BlackBeard, maybe at his prime, the way he said it, I won't be able to defeat BlackBeard right now because of his old age, but because of his reputation, because of who he was in his prime, I guess BlackBeard didn't want to mess with him, especially since he didn't have anyone around to protect him, because he didn't have other people backing him up. Everyone else was turning to stone. And leaving that aside, Kobe abducted? What? This is turning out to be a very long video than what I expected, but there's a lot of things to talk about, even though the content was very, sort of in one place focused. There's still a lot to talk about. The twist at the end, I really expected BlackBeard to capture Boa Hancock rather than Kobe, because that would have made more sense in terms of Luffy facing off against BlackBeard. That would have made more sense. Or, I'm not exactly sure what Oda's planning. Look, Boa's my waifu, and she's the queen. I'm starting to respect her right now, and I'm glad she's not taken away or defeated or, finished off. But BlackBeard abducting Kobe doesn't make very little sense to me. If you guys want, you can, talk it out in the comment section below. I do have a mini theory, though. If Oda's planning to start a war after Wano, and especially with everything that's been happening, with Cross Guild, BlackBeard doing this, Luffy becoming 5th Emperor, Shanks making his move to find the One Piece, and the revolutionaries, especially with the attack on Marijoa, I think it's going somewhere, but I just can't see straight. If I'm planning all the dots one by one, it doesn't connect to any place whatsoever. If BlackBeard wants to find the ancient weapons, he'd rather go to Fishman Island or Wano to basically get them. But to capture Kobe of all people, why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It really doesn't make any sense. on the top of my mind, what I could say is that he we could say from on the baseline, we could say that he basically wants to trade it off with the Cross Guild, but that's not what Blackbeard does. He goes after big shots. Whatever he does big. This is the first time ever that Blackbeard has tried to pull off a scheme and failed. Remember, this is the first time we've seen him make a move and failed. He failed hard. He wasn't able to take the Marinomi. He basically couldn't do anything what he wanted. So, it's very weird to see him like this, but he got something at the end. I guess Rayleigh's only responsibility was that it would go down without much of a mess. So Blackbeard got something in return, and because the Marines were so underhanded, it was very easy to basically overshadow them. Like, Blackbeard was way too strong for the Marines to handle, especially without an admiral. So I guess Boa got saved because plot armor and Kobe didn't. Oda's definitely planning something. Oda's planning something that I genuinely have no idea about. And the only logical conclusion that I could come to, aside from the fact that he wants to do deals with the Cross Guild, is basically start a war with the Marines. Start a war with the Marines the way exactly he did with Ace, but this time confronting the Marines directly. Which I don't know why you would do. Kobe's not even that valuable, to be honest. He's not even an admiral to basically, sort of, what can I say, negotiate with the Marines. But I'm not so sure, man. I'm really not so sure. If you guys, that's enough for now. My brain's not working. It's too much content. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Put down your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, peace.